How y'all doing? My name is Devorjae, and this is episode True 7. And today the topic is going to be flat Earth, pretty much. How to visually interpret it. Because many people, that's a question they do ask me when I'm speaking in these community centers and just giving out information that is contrary to flat Earth. We've been fed the imagery and given the thought and knowledge from NASA, which means to deceive, that, we're floating separate from anything from us. And that's a big centered thought within the deception of the heliocentric model. And people have to understand within that heliocentric period where before then the natural thought years ahead, 1,000 years before, from all of our ancient civilizations that were spread amongst the realm, they shared the same model of a flat Earth, whether it had been the Kemet times, whether it had been in the Mesa times, all just elderly civilizations, Eastern culture, more spiritually natural cultures, and even spread over across the whole world. At a point, it was known that common knowledge was it was flat Earth. People don't keep in mind that the same mathematical equations that were used years before this time are no different than the same ones our ancient cultures used to determine our realm. And even if you look at sculptures and you look at symbols of the sculptures in our ancient ruins, they depict a flat realm. And once you decipher and study even the stories, and even religiously within the modern Bible and within verses, like I said, all spiritual books, all ancient culture books, it is said that the realm is flat. And everything has a grain of salt and truth to the information, which baffles me why people, stick more with a heliocentric thought. People also have to know that the heliocentric thought was pushed and implied way more after the Dark Ages. More of the higher powers, in which even currently are the same higher powers, knew the knowledge and decided it had to be warped. And people don't even realize the globe models weren't even created and made until the late 80s, when they actually started putting out models of a globe to the masses. But I don't want to get too far off topic, because within this topic there are many aspects and many things that you do have to study and pinpoint. You just can't look at certain sections of life and aspects of life to try to grasp your whole conception of your playing fields, your realm, which we call Earth. And there are many other word vibrations I can go into that point out to the Earth being flat, but this is just part one of the video, where I really just want to get the image out to the people, because people really don't know how to image. They rather choose to imagine this floating in thin air when we don't have anything even in our realm, and the physics do not change within our realm to any other realm, that this is spinning and floating, and water is sticking to it as it flows. And for many people's defense being the word gravity, which is something that does not motion and play a part or honestly exist how we believe it does. But that's for another topic. A lot of people are always concerned about what about the flat Earth has an effect on me. That's a lot of, like, why does it matter? And I always say, it's kind of like asking a athlete, why does it matter the shape of the field that he plays in? You have to know your field of play to know your boundaries. And a lot of people don't realize how, when you take in the thought that the realm is infinite, as it's written and said in many ancient texts, your thought of the Big Bang Theory, it goes away. And that's what really centers and, kind of disappoints people or gets them more away from the thought of the flat earth, mainly because of the belief of gravity and the belief that there was out of nowhere a bang and everything got perfect, you know. And as I said, it keeps you disconnected. You feel separated, like you're floating in the empty space. When the fact is that you are on an infinite plane and you have been separated from a firmament due to a firmament by higher up beings. Plain and simple. Um, and let me get to the model because, like I said, this is part one. Usually have about 8 to 10 minutes to give out my information. Now, as we see here, I have a bowl, and it's my a coincidence, but there is no such thing as coincidence. If you watch my other videos, you'll understand the breakdown of coincidence. But a fish bowl is a great depiction of how in everyday life we have a flat Earth model. So when you see this, we have water, and another thing, water won't stick to a ball because of gravity, because all natural elements transcend what we call gravity. Water is able to rise up against gravity from it pushing down. Fire is able to rise against gravity from pushing it down. Insects, but that's on another topic. Like I said, there are many aspects and factors to go in the overall thought of understanding the flat Earth. But let's just keep it on the visual side for right now. So we have the water placed in our plane, our planetary field, and then these brown pieces and green pieces represent land. And this solid piece of land goes into the depths of the water, and it connects to a base. As you see, this is half a circle. It's flat. If I were to get a cup and you pour the water in the cup, and I asked you, is the cup half empty or full? Scientifically, it's half empty. It's H2O, hydrogen and oxygen at the bottom, then oxygen and whatever other gaseous minerals are in the air. It's just not H2O in there. So it's the same thing that applies to our realm. We have water, which sits flat. Water doesn't concave and stay pressed on a plane. And there are many videos that do demonstrations that prove that. As I said before, you have to research many, many things. My video is specifically just for the visualization and understanding of what the flat Earth realm is. So, with this being water laying flat, land on top of the water, in the depths of the water connect to the bottom, this is what we walk on. If we were to keep walking in the distance and contrary to size, things will begin to disappear. And it's nice that I do have a glass fish bowl or whatever, because when we get to talking about the firmament is the glass covering. And once you study what a firmament is scientifically, a firmament is a water substance that can transform due to heat and other environmental factors from a solid to a gas to a more buoyant texture. So due to temperature, the water turns into ice, the ice crystallizes, and that's how we form, and we have what we call Antarctica and these polar points. And pretty much the ridge on the outer realm of the flat surface is covered in ice, and what we would perceive if you were to even go there, what they call the North-South Pole. And then within the middle of our plane is also ice. And keep in mind, a firmament, and as well, we are the beings that rule this land. We can form our own firmament. We can form our own barrier, which is why our higher powers have done that. And it does separate us from anything else in the realm, which is purpose. So back more onto this topic. So the water, this is the ocean, this is the land, the edge is the Arctic, which is glass, and this was there. There's an open realm. We're still just keeping things within our planetary field of what we call Earth. Keep in mind that this is the bottom. And as I've talked about in Hollow Earth, you have to realize that our realm is hollow. And when I say hollow, that means that there are sections and encavings under your feet right now. There's life under your feet. And the way to passage and get through there is through the middle. And as I've done in my other Hollow Earth, Flat Earth demonstration video, your realm reflects your body.